I want you to imagine that I am Lara Trump or Watley or whoever's in charge of the GOP, that I'm speaking to you as I would a member either of the Trump team or the Republicans or anything along those lines. And that's the purpose of today. This is I'm going to be speaking to you as somebody who is talking about the election and not somebody who wants to sit around like a lot of people and just make fun of everybody. All right. That's a lot of fun, but that's childish. That doesn't mean anything. That's not important. All right. This morning, as to Real Clear Politics, the RCP poll average, the 5-way RCP average, the top battlegrounds, favorability ratings, Kamala is up in all of them. Favorability up by 7 points. Favorability is a kind of a strange concept. Battlegrounds, it's interesting. Trump still holds Arizona, Nevada, and North Carolina. Trump is up by almost 2 points. Michigan almost by 2 points. Pennsylvania almost by a point. And this is what everybody has to pay attention to now as of today. Remember, these polls are like blood pressure. If you ever want to find out, if you ever get one of these sphygmomanometers at home, one of these things, you should try it. Look at your blood pressure throughout the day. It's incredible. I mean, it's interesting. Now, what does this matter? What's your take? How are we doing? What is the Trump strategy? What did that mean? What's the reaction? How are people handling this? What do I think is important? What's my take? I know this is what you want to know. Well, what are you thinking, Uncle Lenny? What are you thinking? This is what I'm going to tell you. And when I tell you this, you're not going to necessarily agree, but that's okay because a lot of people, I found this out in the world of, in the world of politics, in the world of anything, the hardest thing for people sometimes is to understand reality. Let me give you an example. Let's take this, for example. This is one of our sponsors. This is preparewithlionel.com. The first thing I deal with is not somebody saying to me, you know what, you've got a good point about emergency food. That's a good idea. I think we should be doing that. I think I should be looking into that. I think it's a great idea. I think no. People will say, well, wait a minute. Are you a prepper? Are you because they immediately want to fight you? It's the weirdest thing. Well, we got a pretty good, larder, so to speak. I've got a cupboard and we've got, I got a pantry and I got a fishing pole and they will fight you on them. No. But this is preparewithlionel.com. This is, are you able to do a 3-month emergency food? By the way, there's a special right now, a 3-month mega sale for $300. And you ask somebody, are you able to do that? Well, and they'll fight you on it. I don't know what it is. Other people, the smart people, will say, what's that address again? Yes, that'll be preparewithlionel.com. And is there a special right now? Yes, you can go to preparewithlionel.com. Take advantage of this. Can I look and see some of the items and preparations? Yes, you can see this. Can I see this? Yes, you may. Yes, you may. That's what the smart person says. Other people will fight you on it. It's the strangest thing. I've never seen anything like it. But you're not like that. Because if you don't see, after last night, when you saw that little girl sitting below others, we'll talk about the stagecraft in a moment. If you realize that we are talking about this thing actually maybe one day being the next president of the United States. If that doesn't make you think, holy wow, then you're not paying attention. And I love this. I talked to a dear friend of mine who is Mr. Democrat. You know, he hates Trump and he's Jewish. Very, very pro Israel. And yesterday I'm texting him. I said, if you think this one's not going to backstab Bibi, and you're out of your mind. Are you listening to what she's saying? Look at her. Do you think she has, and this is my take. And I looked at it from his point of view. I said, do you think this moonbat, this benighted fool, is going to look out for your beloved Israel? Are you kidding me? She doesn't have a belief in anything. Do you understand what's happening? Do you see this? That got his attention. You're not falling for this, are you? Tell me you're not falling for this. Tell me you're really not. Tell me you're not believing this con. You're listening to her. Now that got his attention. That got his attention. So my thing right now is you got to find out what gets somebody's attention. Because there's one thing, and I'm sorry, my friends, if you're watching, if you happen to be either not necessarily Jewish, but if you are pro-Israel, or if you're concerned about the welfare of the state of Israel as it deals with a series of existential threats and the like, however you want to phrase that, if you don't see how you're about to be sold out by this woman, you're not paying attention. She is going to sell you out because these folks don't like Israel, as we say, as Lindsey Graham would say, Israel. Noel Taylor, thank you so much, Noel. So Brad Rung says, trivia, tribe meme, and trivia, who was the 10th VP and the 10th president whose grandson is still alive? Oh, John Tyler. John Tyler. Thank you. John Tyler, I told you, is my favorite picture in the White House, whatever the red room, or of him grabbing the newspaper. I think John Tyler was also the individual who was responsible for the 22nd Amendment and the like. Now, but thank you for that. Let's go back to this. Listen to what I'm saying. See, Lara Trump is busy. She's going to do her marathon, and she's Instagramming or taking pictures. She's on Fox News. She's the co-chair of the DNC or the GOP, or it might be the DNC. I don't know. Along with Watley. She has no clue. No clue. None. Now, I'm going to say something to you, and I don't know if anybody's even considering this, but I would. You know how everybody is saying, wow, AIPAC, oh, AIPAC, the Jewish, and that's not really the Jewish lobby, it's really the Israeli lobby. Oh, okay. And there's a lot of folks, and if you listen to anything, any of the usual suspects, I should say that, excuse me, whether it's Mearsheimer, whether it's Monty, whether it's Blumenthal, whether it's Napolitano, whether it's Scott Ritter, if he's even alive, Katie Halper, A Democracy Now!, if you go through this, the number one theme, among others, well, interspersed, is the cudgel, the heavy-handed influence of AIPAC, the pro-Jewish lobby, AIPAC, the Jewish lobby, AIPAC. We've got to do something about AIPAC, right? This is what they're saying, because this is genocide. This is genocide. This is what you're hearing. Now, if you're not listening to this, a lot of this is so funny. A lot of folks, I hear these libs, for lack of a better word, they don't even know this is being said. They don't even know what's being said. They have no clue. I'm saying, you listen to what's going on here? Yes. Well, time out. Time out. Time out. I don't know what your feeling on AIPAC is. I don't know what your feeling on Israel is, or Palestine, or Bibi Netanyahu or anything like that. I don't know what your feeling is. But let me tell you something, and you listen to Uncle Lenny. AIPAC and the Jewish lobby, please, not the Jewish lobby, the Israeli lobby. And we use the term interchangeably, so I apologize. They may, in fact, provide a tremendous leverage, a cudgel, a sledgehammer against Kamala and the Lib Dems and those people who seek to destroy this country. And if they are to use their considerable purse, their firepower, their organization is fantastic. Ask Cory Bush, ask others. Maybe not Elon Omar, but others as well. They will primary your ass. They have half of Wall Street. They completely changed the tenor and the structure and the method and the message of, quote, free speech on college campuses. They got rid of Claudine Gay. They got rid of all these lefty pro or anti-Semitic, whatever you want to call this. If they can help, and if they are active in helping and finally organizing, maybe something that the Lara Trumps and others don't understand, because they think somehow that a clever Charlie Kirk meme, ooh, that's good. Maybe I'll go on the Newsmax. Maybe Greg Kelly will set the country straight. They actually believe this. They believe that you coming back with some retort, that's going to change and recalibrate. That's going to invalidate and neutralize what happened last night. They believe that. Going back to what I said, if AIPAC or the Israeli lobby helps, help then. Help. The Republicans need all the help they can get. And the best part about it is that I told my friend, my Jewish friend, I said, you're a schmuck. Kamala is going to sell you out so fast, it's not even funny. And the reason why is simply this. I don't know who's going to be giving her the message. She doesn't stand for anything. A sailboat only works if there's wind. If there's nothing to propel it, it's just a bunch of wood. That's Kamala. She doesn't believe this. So now we're talking about this. And I promise you, and we'll talk about CNN in a moment, but that is a very, 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 very serious group of people here. And I have always respected groups, movements. There used to be a time when I respected, and there was something called the Second Amendment, the NRA movement. There was the labor movement. And now there is something called the Israeli movement. All right. Good for them. Great. Thank God. Okay. Thank God. Because this man and these people need all the help they can get. Do you understand what I'm saying here? See, because a lot of folks think that somehow you could just go on and you can just, well, that was nonsense. And, Dana Bash, we'll talk about her in a moment. I mean, that was, she obviously doesn't know what she's talking about. The Green New Deal cost $9 trillion. This and that. And she, and my favorite is all these people who are sitting in their cars, or that's my favorite, who say, I don't know why she just didn't do this 3.5 years ago. I mean, the time is now. What is she talking about? How many times are you going to keep referring to this meme? How many times do you not understand the meme, the thought? Do you think this means something? Oh, it does. Nailed it. I love it. Some guy sitting in a car. It seems to me that Kamala Harris, should have mentioned the fact that she's been in power the whole time. And where's Joe Biden? Well, why don't they do it right now? Nailed it. Where does that go? Nothing. It goes nowhere. It goes into the ether. How does it affect an undecided independent voter? Not in the least. It goes into the ether. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't go anywhere. That's it. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, but he nailed it. That's the beauty of social media. What difference does this make? Oh, she nailed it. Hey, Lara Trump was great. She was on with whoever the hell it was. Oh, that Jesse Waters, if he can hang on to his job, she nailed. Oh, that Greg Kelly, boy, I saw. And my favorite is when somebody posts a picture. They're watching their screen on their phone. They don't even get an MP4. They just put this together like nailed it. And I did it too. I said, look on CNN, they say live. This wasn't live. This is recorded. Okay, that's great. Let's go right now to the camp. Let's go to a group of people of independent, undecided voters, and when they were trying to get anybody here moved by this? No, I didn't watch it. Hey, Lara, how many of these? Why does Bobby Kennedy? Has he received or we not enjoys Secret Service protection anymore? But he's on the ballot in some battleground states, even though he's not. Well, that's to draw Trump votes away from Trump. Anything being done about that, Lara? Any lawsuits? Any? No. But you're running that marathon coming up, right? You got that marathon, or you've got some triathlon. Oh, there's a picture of your kids. Oh, there's Eric. Oh, where you are in Florida. Okay. Anything? Okay. You probably knew this, but you do know that the election is 67 days away. You knew that, right? Just want to let you know. Okay. So here's a couple of things here. Now let's move and let me change a couple of other things for you. And this is what somebody would pick up. Number one, I would love to say this. President Trump, yeah. Who is your hairdresser? Yeah, we're firing him or her immediately. I don't know what's happening to you lately, but you're looking must. I don't know if you need a spritz, if you need some hair, a dippity do or something, but you're looking sloppy lately. You got that? You're looking sloppy. I don't know what's going on here, but your hair is all over the place. And we don't. Ronald Reagan, Mrs. Ellen and I saw the Ronald Reagan movie last night. Fantastic. Oh, corny, schmaltzy propaganda like you cannot. John Voight. I mean, but it was great. And you know what? I'll take the propaganda. Thank you. Thank you very much. Remember John Facenda, NFL Films? Lambeau Field. The Voice of God. Remember that? It was wonderful. Ronald Reagan wouldn't be spending his time just mocking Jimmy Carter the whole time. That's where we go today. Ronald Reagan would have never thought that. But today we spend our time just mocking everybody, because that somehow will convert into votes. Okay. Now, so first of all, President Trump, whoever, I don't know. Number two, there's this thing going around where he's sitting around with Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil is giving President Trump a fill as to the number of Chinese owned farms and real estate adjacent to or propinquitous to American military installations, bases, and the like. And Trump's like this. I say, stop. Lara, are you watching this? No, you're in the mirror. You're going like this all the time. Okay. Let me talk to an adult. Anybody watching this? Yeah. Get rid of this. I'm not going to have Dr. Phil. No, what you need to do. And see, no. He's lecturing Trump. He is informing Trump. Oh, no. What, does he not get security briefings anymore? This has been going on for 20 years. So first of all, comb your hair. Number two, you're not going to be on Dr. Phil, and he's lecturing you. Do I make myself clear? Do I make myself clear? Ronald Reagan would have never done that, because there's nobody here who understands stagecraft. Why? When you're sitting around with a bunch of jabronis and jadrules on the 5, and you've got some fat guy named Typhus basically spewing nothing, and that is your version of Jack Germond. If this is it, Greg Gutbucket and Greg Kelly and people putting together memes, is that it? I'm serious. We had Gorgeous George in the old days. Couldn't they have had Dusty Rhodes? I think it would have made sense. Nobody would have said, "Hey, can we have Dirty Dick Slater, professional wrestler, on our political roundtable?" What? Yeah, he's a professional. No, I understand what he's doing. We're going to have a professional wrestler. You didn't know. Today you've got typhoid or typhus or whatever his name is, because you've relegated this into this complete nothing. Phonies, children, and people more interested in their looks and their spackle and their Botox mugs and their hair extensions than in reality. This is the way we are right now, children. And social media pursues it, exploits that. And today, it was fun last night while it lasted, but Republicans don't want to hear the truth. And right now, as we speak, have you seen these pictures? Here's Dan Scavino. Dan Scavino is the one. I think that Margot Martin, maybe she's gone. I don't know. I haven't noticed, because these were all the Trump babes trying to vie for his. Remember, there was Hope Hicks, and then there was Alina Habba. Where is she? Goodbye. Because if you're I'm sorry, if you're one of the Trump babes, you got a shelf life that's not very long. There's not a lot of, don't buy the green bananas. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it's true. Hope Hicks, where is she? I don't know. She's gone. Back to Dan Scavino, because Dan Scavino is loyal. He is 100% with Trump, 100%. He takes all these pictures. Hey, here's President Trump. He's going, look at all these people. That's great. Look at we love you, MAGA. We're going to win. Excuse me. Yeah. I'd like to, if you could, Dan, let's go to this house. You know what this is here? Hey, Lara, you know what this is? This is a little shack. This is in, I don't know. This is in, outside of Kensington. Outside of Kenzo. This little storefront, yeah. Yeah, that one there. What's so special about that? There's nobody out there. No. That gets about 150 absentee ballots. Do you know that little place right there? It used to be, I don't even know what it is. But it's 123 Main Street, Philly, Kensington area. And you got 150, 200, 300 absentee ballots. And somebody's going to come by, gets the mail. It says, got it. Takes all the ballots that go there. I'm just collecting the ballots, and I'm going to turn them over, and somebody's going to open them up and go, and then drop them back in the mail, and there you go. And those names might have been on the list for, I don't know. They may not even exist. They might be the same name spelled differently. John F. Smith, J. Frank Smith, J.F. Smith, Jack Smith, Jack F. Smith, Jack Frank Smith, J. Frank. I mean, who knows? How long has that been on the list? I don't know. This place, this address, this is a storefront. How many ballots go there? 100. This isn't a residence. Oh, well. Anybody go to the Pennsylvania Secretary of State? Is this possible? Of course it's possible. What are you doing? You're on Newsmax with Greg Kelly. Or that version of my favorite, if you can't, if you want to rival the frequency of a baby monitor, baby go to News Nation or one of those. You're like, oh, look at this. Oh, that was great. Hey, she nailed it. Or you can go to the guy sitting in his car covered in tattoos who says, hey, how come she and Joe didn't do this? That's what people love. I'm thinking, excuse me. Yeah. I just mentioned APAC. Anybody interested in it? No? Okay. Well, what about the voter? Do we have any idea what's going on? I don't know. And they actually saw somebody have a picture of a ballot that says, "Make sure you vote." That's important. I would have been on this thing first. I would have picked up the phone. Get me on Fox News. Who's the biggest show? Hannity. Put me on Hannity. I don't care. Or get me on Dan and Bash. And who is this feller who's on CNN? He's terrific. I don't even know his name, but he's great. He's really good. He speaks. I would get on there and say, "Hey, guess what I did?" Yeah. Guess what, Pennsylvania? We just knocked off 200,000 from your voter rolls. People who don't exist, people who don't live there, people whose addresses don't correspond to property taxes, people who we just knocked off. You know that? And we also want to make sure that those ballots, even though they've been knocked off, can't come in. I would hope, let's assume that I'm sitting here and I'm just a regular guy. And by the way, Charlie Kirk and others, we have poll watchers. We have people at the polls making sure everything's okay. Great. Go in the back. This is a guy. This is Jerry. This is Jerry Latimer. Jerry's in charge of our mail-in. How are you? Good. Let's watch. Jerry, show us what you're doing. Well, I got one of these things in here. This is an envelope. And it says, looks like an absentee vote. Looks okay to me. All right. That's it. All right. Jerry, open it up. Yep. That's it. That's it. There's the serial. I don't know if they scan it or whatever, but I would hope you would run it through and go, what's the matter? Well, see, each one of these are barcoded. I don't even know if this is true. I hope it's true, but this is in my perfect world. I love to see this. Well, let me try it again. Well, it was rejected. Why? Well, this barcode apparently has been knocked off of the. This is the code from this list that Lara Trump and the GOP just had disqualified. The 900,000 phony addresses. Yeah, this ballot is no longer usable. So I'm going to take this ballot and throw it away. We're not going to count it. Let me try this again. We got another one here. All right. Well, this didn't work either. Why? Well, I see what happened. This is 123 Main Street. Yeah, this is one of the 500 ballots that went to that Main Street. It was a bodega in Kensington that's hasn't been open in 25 years. Yeah, that's no good either. Okay. But what about this? Another one. What is this? Well, this is James Franklin Dozier. Yeah. Well, there is no James Franklin Dozier, and he was kicked off of this. Next one. Sorry, this one's no good either. See, that's what I'd like to see in my perfect world. And I promise you that Lara Trump or anybody can't answer that question. They have no idea what you're talking about. But they go, well, forget about that. Let's just talk about how Kamala did last night. No. Excuse me. I want to talk about this. This is the boring stuff. Hey, Watley. Michael Watley. Yeah, you're the guy from Riverdance, right? Oh, okay. What about this? What about this? See, because what they're doing is Real Clear Politics is setting you up. They're saying, well, Kamala was doing well in the polls. What polls? Well, the polls, she was doing well in the battleground states, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. The only one apparently that Trump, let me see, that Trump is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Georgia's tied. Okay. See what they're doing? They're setting you up for that. Edie Crowley says, in Pennsylvania, TDS are angry Trumpers who hate Dems. Nothing in between. I live like a double agent. Oh, you have these people, Edie, and thank you. You have these people, but you see, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in that. There's always these people. We all know these folks. I'm interested in the people who are going to showing up miraculously, who all of a sudden, and nobody's looking because people have been so, we can't talk about this because, let me explain something to you. And I think it's only fair. We have a fellow here, by the way, another one of our great sponsors is a man named Mike Lindell. Okay. Mike Lindell has mypillow.com. There it is right there. MyPillow.com promo code Lionel. Use MyPillow.com promo code Lionel. Okay. And Mike Lindell has somehow been portrayed as some kind of a maniac, because Mike Lindell either questioned or didn't believe in the authenticity of the vote or whatever it was. And people like Fox in particular, who were sued by Dominion and others. There's Lori Lewis, by the way. God bless you. And Smartmatic, and in the old days it was Diebold. See, I'm not talking about anything involving precincts or voting machines or offshore. Nothing. Talking about that at all. This is the easiest. I was watching again. I told you I love to watch these. Remember this one? Hey, look at this. Look at this. Oh, how did I do that? Oh, my thumb came off. No, I went like that. And there's always a simple reason for that. And this is the simplest stuff there is. But you're being distracted by all kinds of stuff. And many of us have been saying, excuse me. Yeah. Do you not see what's going on here? No, I don't see that. Why? Because that's boring. I want to make fun of her. I want to have Greg Kelly tell us, because Greg Kelly, he's the moment this man ever tells you something, we say, I didn't know that. Let me know if that ever happened. Let me know that. Okay. Just let me know the next time somebody says, did you know? I heard that, because that's where we are today. And again, watching this Reagan movie, it made me think, what would old Dutch do? Evan Webb says, let's say Trump wins. Will Trump be able to make lasting change, or do we keep flipping back and forth? Seems we have been flopping for decades. Most I talk to can't see that all could fail. Well, thank you for that, by the way. Could be. Oh, I talked to somebody the other day who was big in New York Republican politics, which is almost non-existent. He doesn't have any idea. Brad Rung says, love American presidential history. Who was the 9th president? His grandson became the 23rd. He served the least amount of time as a serving president. Oh, Benjamin Harrison and William Henry Harrison. Remember that one? William Henry. In fact, when William Henry Harrison stepped down in 1840, whatever it was John Tyler who was going to take over. But he wanted to take over not as an acting president, but as a president. Okay, let's go through a few. Let's change this thing. Please see the movie last night on Reagan. It's fantastic. It's complete, but it's great. John Voight, I love him. He's talking. They made it sound like, and Brown goes, well, the only way we can bring down the Soviets is to make them outspend. Oh, come on. Do you believe that? Okay, look, if you do, that's fine. Remember, the truth is boring. The fanciful version of truth is. Now, let's look at this right away. First of all, remember this. Now, one thing, too, Dana Bash. Hey, Dana, why the long face? Dana Bash. Dana Bash was married to John King. Dana Bash. Go to her. This is very interesting. Go to her Twitter account, I believe, her Twitter, and see what she has, what Dana Bash has. Okay, who is she? Well, Dana Bash has this thing on her, what is it? On her, top of her, whatever you want to call it. It says something to the effect of, here it goes. Badass Women of Washington. See, that's the picture. Badass women. Let's do a psychological profile of this child, Dana Bash. I mean, she was married to John King. Damaged goods, desperately trying to establish herself as legit, dangerous, and respected. This is her chance. Her dreams are like taking the gold medal in the Eskimo Olympics. Interesting and kitschy, but meaningless. Okay? She was the putz who basically was handed this. And anybody else would have said, Dana. People call her Dana, but I think she uses the word Dana. Do you know what you just did? You went down. What you did was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. You were a part of it wasn't even, they didn't even go an hour. Last night we went live and I thought, well, it'll be till 10 o'clock. No, they dumped early and it was filled with commercials. And they even said it was live. And you didn't follow up with anything. There was no follow-up. Quick story. When I was a prosecutor, we had these things called predicate questions. And predicate questions were like, if you were brand new, you really didn't know what to do. And you walked in and they had all these predicate questions. For example, DUI, state your name for the record. Where are you employed? Were you employed on this night? Did you have the opportunity to stop the defendant? Did you see the defendant in the courtroom? And they gave you all of these questions. But the key is, are you going to listen to the questions or are you going to follow up? So, for example, if I say, state your name for the record, Tuesday, and were you employed on this 73rd Street? I say, wait a minute. And one time, this judge leaned over, grabbed the predicate questions from this brand new prosecutor and says, excuse me, don't go to question 2 unless they answer question 1 and listen to the answer. They were so, when you're a brand new prosecutor, brand new trial lawyer, you just want to say something, but you're not learning anything. Listen to what they're saying. Do you know the hardest part about acting, they've said this repeatedly, is listening. If you were a part of, if you're doing Broadway and you're doing 8 shows a week and you're listening to the same thing and this person is talking to you and you're thinking, where am I going after this? Okay, what's that next line coming up? You look like you're not listening. Listening is the most difficult thing in the world. So what Dana Bash did was she didn't even follow up. He didn't say, whoa, 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 whoa. See, George Stephanopoulos did. But she was told, if you think you're going to be tough with this, you're out of your mind. We're going to allow you to bring the question up. And whatever this woman says, you're going to follow up. You're not going to say, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. You didn't answer the question. Now, a couple of things here. Let me show you this. So understand, this is Dana. She wants to be the badass. It means a lot to her to be respected. Well, not with last night. And everybody knows this. Now, watch this.
Biden-Harris administration,
Now, watch this one. Hang on for a second. I want you to notice something. And I want you to notice the first thing of the stagecraft. How is this associated? J. Edgar Hoover, in his office, he was always higher than anybody else. His desk was elevated. He looked down on you. When you are sitting around, you don't want to look, you want to look like you're the star. Now, see if you notice something coming up.
record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweep?
You know, watch. What do you think? What do you think? Now, don't be mean. What do you think? Excuse me. What do you think? Okay. Now, what's interesting to know is how she is positioned compared to Tampon Timmy, and Dana.
Asylum restrictions.
A bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support, and Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill.
Energy.
Now, you know what happened with that one, right? You know the story. Now, if Dana Bash had a pair, if Dana Bash were legit, if Dana Bash were real, if Dana Bash were an actual journalist or whatever, she's going, no, that's not. If you talk to the people at the time who voted against this, they voted against this not because Donald Trump told them because it would hurt him politically, because believe me, he would have taken credit for this. Had this bill been, he could have said, see, because of my leadership, I crafted the bill and they listened to me. No. It was because you basically changed nothing, this bipartisan bill. And I have the language right here. Kamala, would you like me to read this to you? Would you like me to see? And I knew you were going to say this. The reason why they voted against this, quote, bipartisan bill was that you were, in effect, changing nothing. It was the same the same number of people coming in daily, and nothing was effectuated at all. That it was a joke. That they feared precisely what you're doing right now, that there would be this bill that you're offering, but it means nothing. See, that's what a real journalist would have said. It's what George Stephanopoulos would have said. That's why Dana Bash is no George Stephanopoulos, nor will she ever be. But you knew that, okay? But I'm going to try to get a picture. I think I've got
is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported.
You can't see this, but she's lower. They're in this kind of this crummy room with this lousy lighting, and they're lower. And Timmy's higher than her. Dan is up here, and there's little Kamala in the middle. She's shorter than she's not positioned equally.
The Green New Deal.
See, we got to.
And in 2019, you said, "quote There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue."
There we go. Look. See what I mean? Look at this guy. What is he? 8 feet tall? Look at her. Why is she's in the middle and she looks like she is, it's like the reading of a will or some type of like a hostage video or something. Look at the optics. Look at the stagecraft. Remember, most Americans, as evidenced by Newsmax and others, aren't paying attention to what actually was said, but they want to convey a feeling. So what feeling are you feeling right now? What are you getting from this? Look at him. You got to ask, why was he there in the first place? But why is she lower? They're about the same height. Why is she positioned kind of slumped over in the middle?
Particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, as president, I will not ban fracking.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never.
Now, this is the big que mierda. This is absolute garbage. He talks about grammar and he said IVF. Well, it wasn't IVF. It was intrauterine insemination. Well, I said I carried. I said I carried a weapon. I wasn't. Okay, I said I was command sergeant major, but I was a master sergeant, which is still. I mean, so I did say, okay, the DUI. You're right. I said I wasn't drinking, but I was drinking. Yes, I understand. I mean, he went through everything. And yes, it was responsible by it. I basically had people shot with paintballs on their front. And I had paintballs one time, and it was painful. I had people shot on their front porches. I had snitch lines set up during COVID. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I also put tampon dispensers in boys' rooms, and I basically wanted to grease the skids and greenlight kids from being on their own, able to decide that they wanted to have their life forever changed and their bodies mutilated through gender reassignment surgery. And if genitals don't make you a boy or girl, why do you want to cut them off? I'm just saying. Anyway, here's Tampon Timmy, and he looks like, what the hell am I doing here?
Deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing.
Now, we didn't ask that question. Okay, we didn't ask that question.
Uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom.
Never asked about that.
Move way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
You have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And the Democrats have been for like 12 out of the last 16 years.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we...
You don't need to recover from an economy to do simple things like no tax on tips. And where's Joe Biden now?
We have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%.
You were a very staunch defender of President.
Look at this. See this? Look how she's sitting. Look how she's sitting. Somebody somewhere did not Kubrick, anybody who understands stagecraft would have said, oh, no. Also, isn't this the most pathetic. What is this? The lunchroom? Is this the rec room? What I've seen. Do you ever go to like a TJ Maxx and you go to the John and you look over and there's like the employee break room? Doesn't this look like it? Employee of the month, Jerry Splitnick, they're this is, and look on the bottom right, live CNN. It wasn't live. It was recorded. Now, I know it's CNN. Nobody cares. But you would think somebody would say, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we doing? Why are we gratuitously giving people more reasons to hate us?
Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because I'm a pathological liar. Crypto Domini says, I saw the height thing with JD Vance interview yesterday night. Causal couldn't see this circus actually live. Cause I couldn't see this circus act actually live. Again, certain things, people never like to talk about this, but stagecraft matters. And I think that thing was absolutely boneheaded with the president at a grave, like, hey, would you lose this thumb thing? Hey. Now, is that critical? No. It's an unforced error. Why are you doing this? Why did somebody say, excuse me, yes, Mr. President, yes, we're at this facility. It's, by the way, this may be in violation of something. I don't even know. But just don't give the thumbs up. This is it's like when people do selfies at funerals. You ever seen that one? Ever seen a selfie with a funeral? Now, let me show you what I think is one of the most effective. This is one of the most effective things which I love. Because there are effective means of giving of messaging, as it were. Watch this.
Woodson. Hi, my name is Silo.
We try this again.
My name is Jasmine Woodson.
Hi, my name is Silo.
I'm Karen Watson.
I'm Yolanda Johnson from Georgia.
This is BB Diamond from New York City.
I'm Dana Galen, and I'm from Tampa, Florida.
I live in Hagerstown, Maryland.
Out here in Maricopa County.
Kalamazoo County, Michigan.
I am a proud African immigrant living in Florida.
I'm from the great state of New Jersey.
I'm Angelina from Philly, and this November, I am not voting for Kamala Harris.
I am not voting for Kamala Harris.
I'm not voting for Kamala Harris.
I am not with Kamala Harris.
I am not with her.
I'm not with her.
I am not with Kamala Harris.
I'm not with Kamala.
I am not for Kamala. I am for Donald Trump.
I am not with Kamala.
I am not with her because she is not with me.
I support President Trump and the economic policies our country experienced under his leadership as our 45th president.
President Trump will support our law enforcement agencies and fund them appropriately.
Donald Trump made me proud to be an American.
I'm with Donald J. Trump.
We need a leader who can make America great again.
Trump puts Americans first, and he always will.
We need Donald Trump.
I and millions of other Black Americans will cast my vote for Donald J. Trump.
I will proudly cast my vote for Donald J. Trump as our next president.
Let's make America great again.
Now, why is that important? Ignore her. Ignore her. You don't have to tell me that she speaks word salad. You don't have to make fun of her. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do this. Crypto says Stagecraft, Smudgecraft, they lied about live to get false clicks. Sort of, could be, but yes. But why I like this is that these were Black women. Okay, fine. But you mentioned it in passing. I mean, it was obvious. You said, oh, a bunch of Black women. Great. But they said, but here's why. You made me feel great again because of death, because of prosperity, because of crime. That's the way to do it. There's an old effective phrase. You know, years ago, Rush Limbaugh used to get into all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. You don't remember this. There was the time when the Florida orange I think it was Florida orange juice or Florida the citrus people hired him and they wanted to get rid of him. Anita Bryant. Remember that Anita Bryant? I don't even see, she's still alive anyway, but the gay thing, they wanted to get her off of Florida orange juice. And you only take flack when you're over the target. And one time we were talking about some great, and by the way, one of the absolute terms of success, Sean Hannity has been, without a doubt, and the luckiest man in the world. Anybody who follows Rush Limbaugh and Bill O'Reilly is 100%. Sean Hannity will never get into trouble. Why? No hits, no runs, no errors. Says nothing ever even remotely problematic. Which you could say, well, no, that's just smart. He can sleep at night. I didn't say anything. Tucker Carlson did. He got fired. Anybody, Megyn Kelly, she got fired. Everybody gets fired. Or maybe they were attacked by Bill O'Reilly, whatever the hell the reason is. But when you are good, you get fired. No hits, no runs, no errors. That was the effect last night with Kamala. You can laugh all you want. She was unscathed. Thanks to Dana. Thanks to who did not bash. Thanks to CNN. Thanks to these people. Nothing happened. Do you hear what I'm saying? She was absolutely, positively perfect. Why do I say this? Because of the fact that nothing happened. Nothing. It was all right. Tim, whatever. Now, Stephanopoulos was great. Stephanopoulos really, believe it or not, by the way, and I say that with all due respect, Stephanopoulos on July the 5th really buried Joe Biden. That was the one. I mean, that just hurt him. And by the way, Mr. President Trump, yeah, could you have waited for the debate maybe after the convention? Why were you in such a hurry? If the debate had been after the convention, we wouldn't be where we are today, but that's okay. What are you going to do? Mr. President, you have to talk about some things. What Ronald Reagan, there's got to be the fire in your belly to win, not to prove yourself right, not to vindicate yourself, not to go after all these rat bastards who gave you a hard time, but to do something for your vision. Edie Crowley says, Kamala's body language alone will not hold up to the impassivity of foreign statesmen. Well, if you're right about that, if were she to maintain that, see, people may think this is completely mean what I'm saying. It's not mean. It's absolutely the truth. I mean, this is, these shows, and you can always tell somebody will always, whenever they have this, a lot of times on news programs, when they don't have anything to say, they'll say, we're hiring a body language expert. Body language expert? Body language? She worked at the fragrance counter at Bergdorf Goodman's last week. And now she's a body language. Okay, whatever. It's a free country. You can say whatever you want. But I'm not interested in whether you went like this or whatever. But I'm talking about the way it looks and the Ronald Reagan did some things that just were absolute. And again, please see, some of it is just overdone. But I love it. It's pure propaganda. It's wonderful. I love propaganda. I love it. When you were a kid, did you ever have that, honey, like stand up and sing? And you ever have those people that would come to your schools and sing, America's, America, and they would, like Kathy Lee Gifford. But they would come around, like stand up and sing or sit down and shut up or whatever it was called. It was these, that's kind of what this is. Remember when Bob Hope would go to Vietnam and the Gold Diggers, and, we're in Phnom Penh. Hey, everybody. And then you have Lola Falana or Ruta Lee. Well, that was a propaganda thing. That's what this Reagan movie is. It's wonderful. I love it. Ronald Reagan was incredible. Now, those were different times. But Ronald Reagan believed ever since, because when he came to power, it was during the HUAC and Hollywood, and after the commies threatened to cut his face. Remember that one? WM Fishman says, WBM says, most horrible infomercial I've seen. Even Ron Popeil would have been horrified. My dear friend, I say to you, thank you, but I beg to differ. Mission accomplished. Let me ask you, what was the goal of last night's Kamala piece? Let me ask you something. And please be as hysterically funny as possible. Force as many jokes and this is what the internet does. They always make jokes and this and that. But seriously, what was her job last night? What was it? What was her job? And I'll wait a second just for this. Okay. Howie says Kamala comes across as a high school ditz. I didn't think so. Not at all. No. You thought that. She didn't do the laughing. She didn't say anything stupid. No. Remember, you have to be able to pull yourself out of the equation. What was her goal last night? To make the past disappear? No. No answer to any question. You know what? That's probably closer to the truth. No hits, no runs, no errors. Yeah, I'm one of you. I'm okay. Look at me. I'm coming off of look, I've got my Chucks on. I got my tee. I'm one of you. I'm not that bad. I'm okay. People say, well, it's not bad. That's it. That's it. That's it. Beverly has a good one here. Beverly says, earn the confidence of people. Beverly, absolutely. Now remember, I don't care whether you agree with this. That was the goal. David says, to prove she's normal. Yes. Appealing to single moms, Paz says. Yeah, maybe. Absolutely. That's what you've got to do. Remove yourself from this Charlie Kirk, Newsmax, Greg Gutbucket making fun of everybody. You're missing the point completely. What is the thing? What is the sign of somebody who's a great A&R person? Somebody who can go out there and say, this is the band, this is the group, this is the next. How many people looked at ABBA and said, this is the most stupid band there is, much to their chagrin? Dick Clark, one time I interviewed him and I said, is it true that he basically panned the Beatles, which is true. I love political science, but it's behaviorism. It's nothing to do with right or wrong. What does he need to do? What does Trump need to do? Nobody wants to hear this. Trump has already won his people over. Trump has got to say something where if Trump said something like, for example, in the next 25 years, you're going to be faced with a problem that you never even thought was possible. You never even thought was available. You never thought this was on the horizon of possible worries. You never thought this would be there. And that is water. Hydro-imperialism. Right now, wars are fought or used to be fought because of oil. Next, it was rare earth metals and lithium. Then after that, it will be water. You can get off the gold standard, but you can't get off the water standard. Who owns the world's water? If someone comes to our country and decides to buy all of our aquifers, all of our available fresh water, can we have any say to that? Who owns water? It's not riparian rights. Is it the ad Salem doctrine? Is it who it? Have somebody say, I never thought of that. Wow. Wow. And I don't know about you, but I'd say, excuse me, I don't want to hear about Kamala. Tell me again about the water thing as an example. As an example. Trump's talking and Trump says, let me give you an example of something. One morning you find out that somebody has detonated an explosive in the Lincoln Tunnel. Now, it's not enough to cause it to collapse, but let's just assume. What would that do to the sense of safety? What would you do if people said, well, I'm not going to go in there, and all of a sudden you cut off a major artery? Do you remember this, ladies and gentlemen? Do you remember there was a bridge in D.C.? Remember the bridge that fell down? Yeah. Has that been, that was critical. Remember the bridge that they hit it one day and it fell down? And that was instrumental in providing all of the food and the water and the oil and the fuel and the provisions to either Delaware or Baltimore or wherever the hell it was. Whatever happened with that one? You know, we love to talk about infrastructure or infrastructure, as people pronounce it. But we need somebody to say, excuse me, I have a Secretary of Transportation and Commerce that never forgets this, that stops what they're doing and goes after. Don't bring up booty giggity giggity. Don't bring up these names. You don't have to. I want somebody who gets up in the morning and says, I'm worrying about bridges. I'm worried about roads. I'm worried about, you ask somebody something. I want to show you something. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get a kick out of this. You know what this is? This is Antwerp or Rome or wherever. This is what we would call a pothole. Now, this pothole, this, though I'm showing you right now, was recorded 10 years ago. Yeah. They haven't had to refill it since. Why? Because something as simple as a pothole, they say we fix it forever. In our country, we have, I'm sorry to say this, unions. We have municipal workers. We have people who only make money if they have to keep refilling it. Now, you may laugh at that. You may say, wow, that's not the end of the world. How many of you, have you ever had your car lose alignment? You got to go into, I mean, I thought maybe there's kind of a connection between the alignment business, but why is this? Little things like that. Government is about somebody worrying about things like picking up trash, making sure water is there, making sure bridges work, making sure that our country, you just want to sit here and just say, oh my God. What happens if all of a sudden there's an attack and somebody says, is this a terrorist attack? I don't know. Who did this? Well, they say it's Hezbollah, but wait a minute. How do you know it's Hezbollah? Or how do you know instead it's the enemy of Hezbollah in what is called a false flag to give the impression that they are the one that's involved when it's somebody else? How do you know that? Well, you don't know that. You need somebody who spends every waking day being able to sift through intel and intelligence, and somebody who is more interested in keeping you safe than prying into your files and find out what you're saying and what you're doing and whether you have dared to opine about what particular form of treatment might be best for, let's say, an infection, like we did before, when Americans were actually shut off of the ability to speak and converse around the world because they dared to say or dare to believe in something which was not acceptable. Okay. I don't know about you, but I'm listening to that guy. Crypto Domini says each decade is an economy that needs to be handed off as a baton to the next with infrastructure, fiscally, financially, use AI for Pete's sake. Interesting. You want somebody to sit there and say, you know, Dana, I've been in business, politics for a long time. And there's one thing I found out. If you're going to pass a really bad bill, something that costs a lot of money, something that's ineffective, give it a great name. Defense of Borders Act, even though it has nothing to do with borders. And you could say, you voted against the Defense of Borders Act? That's the old, No Child Left Behind. Trust me, they were left behind. The Clean Air Act, the Patriot Act, who wants to vote against the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, where they basically sought to weaponize local law enforcement, destroying posse comitatus, but had a great name. And you need somebody who could stand up and say, not only am I voting against the National Defense Authorization Act, but I'm going to tell you why. You can't sit there and say, you didn't vote for the Green New Deal. Yeah, green. You know what the green is the money it costs. That's it. Evan Webb says, people forget. Who remembers LaGuardia Airport? December the 29th, 1975. I remember, but I was there that day. Well, you know what? You might want to help us with December the 29th. Was that the plane that crashed by any chance? I don't know. I don't remember. It's always great to see. And who remembers December the 15th in Roanoke, Virginia? Me. Well, there's my point. Well, what happened? I don't know what happened, but you forgot it. No, I didn't forget it. I don't know what happened. What happened? Well, I don't know what happened. Well, why do you ask? I say people who ask trivia questions, just going to say. Is that it? LaGuardia? Let me see. Is that it? Is that it happened in 75? Wasn't there a plane wasn't there Evan, you got to help us without, you got to help us, Evan. You got to follow through, buddy. You got to follow through. A lot of us are saying, whoa, is that what it was? Come on, Evan. Help us out, buddy. Come on, pal. Help us out. Make sure we follow through these. Just it's like, remember the old joke? How do you keep and then you pick the ethnicity you don't particularly like? How do you keep an Alsatian in suspense? I don't know how. How? And you don't answer. And that's the joke. Okay. Look at Hillbilly. UFO sighting? I don't know. The heist? No, the heist was not. Was this? No, LaGuardia. That was JFK. This was the Lufthansa. PSA San Diego crash? TWA baggage terminal bomb. 12 dead, 75 hurt. See, there you go. But, so in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean that sincerely, in conclusion, was last night a disaster? Absolutely not. Was mission accomplished? Absolutely. What was the reason for that? It was just so she could just not be hurt. So they hired this hack, this Dana Bash, who basically ensured that she was okay. Raul says, Kamala looks like a bit like Ronnie from the Ronettes. You know, Ronnie Spector. A little bit, sort of, maybe, a little bit you. So Raul, thank you. Evan, thank you. Crypto Domini, WBM Fishman, Edie Crowley, Brad Rung, Lori Lewis, Noel Taylor, thank you. Let me also remind you, fine people, on October the 26th, I'm going to be at the beautiful venue, the Cutting Room, 10 days before perhaps one of the most important elections in our lifetime. Because you do not want to see, remember, it's not Kamala who's in charge. It's not. It's whoever tells her what to do. It's not her. She's fine. It's her handlers. Those are the people. And that's the reason for this. Also, dear friends, let me remind you as well to follow the incredible words, the momentum of Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Right there. There's the link right there for you. Lynn's Warriors on YouTube, and on X or Twitter at Lynn's Warriors as well. Now, let me remind you of this. Number one, I have no interest in doing a laugh-in version of let's just make fun of people all day. I mean, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I appreciate that. That's okay. But I'm not interested. And believe me, you get a lot more viewers and followers and traffic if you just make fun of people. You take what they say and you put a dance number behind it, or you know, whatever it is. And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm thinking sometimes it's not so much the message, but the fact that it passes as comedy or whatever you want to call it. That's fine. Whatever. What I'm interested in doing is winning. I don't care about anything other than President Trump winning re-election. And I am so tired of people who are running the show who think that just by being morally right, just because there's a great turnout at some venue, that somehow that's going to translate into votes. And more importantly, there's a little reference to it, but if you don't do anything to discuss at all the, how do I say this? The sanctity, the protection, the accuracy of the vote, we're wasting our time. And there are far too many people who are here involved in doing nothing but just talking about things that don't really matter. Or they are so afraid of the, remember, nobody's talking about voting machines, or that's not it. Nobody. And understand something also. Be very careful of somebody who says, I want to be hot and sexy, or I want to be popular, or I want to be considered handsome, or whatever the hell it is. We have some, or funny. That's another one too. We want to be funny. Have you noticed the number of comedy shows where people just are laughing hysterically for reasons? I'm going to say something that is sacrilegious to many. I think he was very talented, but I will never understand the genius that was Norm Macdonald. Never. They speak of him, what he was an he didn't care whether you thought it was funny or not. Okay. Good trait for a comedian. He never cared whether it was appropriate or not. He didn't care. He was so brave. Okay. This chef, this restaurant he has, he doesn't care whether the food's good, whether you liked it, whether you came back, whether you found it delicious or tasty. No. He knew better. He was doesn't work. This doesn't work at all. John never cared whether he finished the race, whether he came in first, whether he hit more home runs. No, that's not it. Well, what did he care about that? I don't know, but what happens is you get these comedians together and they laugh. I saw one time a Norm Macdonald and Gilbert Gottfried, and they were each one trying to laugh harder. Can I laugh harder at you? Can I show this incredible connection? Jerry Seinfeld does it. People in cars, coffee, or whatever. I want to show you because I'm a comedian. My sense of comedy is so much more refined than yours that I'm going to just absolutely lose my mind laughing because I'm a professional comedian. Well, by the way, have you seen Jay Leno lately? Anyway, that's great. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about Trump winning. And when I see stupid, unforced errors, like that thing at the cemetery, hey, and people say, what difference does it make? No, you're standing up for him. No, you're always, some people, I know they always, whatever he does, they just defend him. Oh, that's great. He's a genius. Well, he was elected. He knows what he's doing. Really? What happened in 2020? Wow, that wasn't his fault. Really? He didn't know? What's going on here? What are you talking? I'm not going to be one of these people. And with all due respect, I love the guy, but he works for me. This is not about me liking you. This is not, who Simon Cowell and who gets to win the talent contest, Ted Mack or whatever. No, I'm dating myself. This is about you trying to rewrite or write this republic that we're in right now. That's it. And there are too many fans and too many people who just love everything that Trump does, as do I. But I don't like it because I'm some groupie. That's not it. And they can't look at Kamala for any other reason other than the fact that they hate her. She's stupid. She speaks word salad, logorrhea. Okay, fine. But maybe you shouldn't be doing political commentary or analysis. You just hate her. And if you want to go on, in fact, watch the 5 where they sit around, they just mock her. She's stupid. She's idiot. It doesn't matter. And he's an idiot. And this is stupid. And she's an idiot. Look how she's laughing. And she's an idiot. We love this show. Number 1. That's great. It may be a fun show to watch. But that has something to do with voting, because there are independent and undecided voters out there who are saying, I don't watch this show. I don't care what the show is. I'm not even sure who I'm going to vote for. I'm busy. Tell me what your worldview is. Give me a dream. Give me an idea. Paint a picture for me. I'm not going to vote for Trump because you make fun of Kamala. You've heard me speak. That's enough. I've said it enough. And I know a lot of people don't like what I say. What are you going to do? I don't care. I swear to God, I don't care about that. I'm past that. I know what I'm saying is true. All right, dear friends, make sure you remain connected and subscribe to Lionel Nation and Lionel Legal. We'll see you tonight at 7. And don't forget, until then, remember, my friends, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.